I'm filming this because I genuinely feel like I have some real advice to give right now. If not, I wouldn't be sitting here and filming this. But yeah, just like you, when I was starting 10th, I used to search up those ICC class and boards advice and stuff like that on YouTube. And I found that a lot of videos, the advice, they tend to be very generalized and very generic, not really like specific to ICC and what like specifics. I wanted a specific, and it's just not there. There's a lack of supply in the market, and I found that a lot of people who are making these videos have given boards like years ago. Obviously, like the patterns changed, competency questions and stuff. So I just wanted to give my own 2 cents on this and put out into the world what I wanted to hear when I was starting 10th. Okay, so I'm going to split this video into a couple of different parts, and the first part is motivation. What are you studying for? I'm going to tell you something straight up. 10th marks are not important. I don't think they have any long-term impact in your life. So people will tell you that, oh, it matters. It's like extremely overhyped, like a lot. And people will tell you, they will try to scare you into studying. Don't fall for that. The only thing that creates is like unnecessary pressure and fear. It's not a big deal. It's extremely doable. Don't be scared at all. But what you need to do is you need to promise yourself that you'll try your absolute best. And that's all that matters. Just try your best. I find that better than that, a better incentive to study is to just like promise yourself. Because you can't break a promise that you make to yourself. You shouldn't do that. But don't try to hold yourself to like a certain percentage. Just be like, I don't want any regrets. That after I get my results, I don't want to regret and be like, oh, I had so much wasted potential. I didn't try my absolute best. Don't let that happen to you. Just try your absolute best. And when you do it for yourself, you don't need external motivation. You'll find the motivation within yourself. I truly believe that. Now I'll give you some general studying tips and tell you my experience. So in my case, in my school, we had class for 1 month after 10th started, and then we had 2 months summer holidays. I know most schools don't give that, but in my state, it is mandatory to give that. So we had 2 months summer holidays. During that time, I finished all my records, and I finished like 50 to 60% of the syllabus on my own. I used like YouTube teachers and did self-study. I highly suggest you do that too. If your school gives summer holidays, I want you to make a schedule and put every day, assign a different topic to every day. Be like, oh, I'll complete this chapter this day, I'll complete this chapter this day, and just follow that. Don't forget to have fun though, because it's not that deep. It really isn't. It's not that serious, but it is really good for you if you can get a bit ahead of the syllabus. Another thing I used to do was what they teach during the day in class, I would go home and study it that day itself, and then during the weekend I would have free time. So what I would do is I would study ahead. I would study the chapters not taught in school, because in most schools what happens is by the pre-board time they'll rush the syllabus because they need to like finish everything. So at that time most kids can't keep up because the school is going at a very fast pace. But if you have already studied a bit ahead, it'll be a little easier for you to finish the syllabus before pre-boards. And another thing, I've seen people online be like, oh, I just studied the last 2-3 months and I got this percentage. Me personally, I studied properly from the beginning itself, but I do think that if you just study for the like semester and pre-board exams, you can definitely get a good grade during the board exams because they're fairly easy, the board papers. But I do suggest to study properly from the beginning itself. But if it's a little late, it's fine. Don't be worried about that. You just need to log in for like 3 months. Everything's set. It'll be fine. Yeah. Another thing I would recommend, it's just kind of off topic, but I would recommend you do meditation. You can just easily access free guided meditations on YouTube, or there are apps like Insight Timer or whatever. They really, really help. You will feel much calmer. I still do them every single day. It just makes your life better. I swear, it just makes your life better. Like, trust me on this. Or if you don't want to do meditation, just do yoga nidra to go to sleep. Even that helps. You'll just feel much better and calmer in your life. So the next segment is social media. I'm not going to be out here saying don't use your phone, because it's 2026. It's not practical. Everybody's going to be on their phone. But I can tell you how I regulated it. So by the end of like 8th grade, I was developing addiction. Like I was glued to my phone. And I realized that, and I tried to not use it. In 9th, I didn't use it for like a month out of my own free will. And in the beginning of 10th, I was like hella motivated. I was like studying only, no entertainment. So I didn't use my phone for 2 months. What I mean by I didn't use my phone is that I didn't use it for entertainment, but I still had Spotify though. I listen to music, I listen to podcasts, but no YouTube, no Insta, nothing. Another thing, during the entirety of 10th, I didn't have the YouTube app on my phone, like it was disabled. What I would do is I would open up the YouTube web page on Google Chrome, and I had 3 YouTube accounts. I still have 3 YouTube accounts. One is just the entertainment account, it's just for entertainment. All the YouTubers I like watching are on there. And the second one is just a study account. The only online I can only look up online lectures or study vlogs, just study related stuff or study with me is in that account. And the third one is my art account. Is for like search up art stuff because that's my hobby. So I would try to be on my second YouTube as much as possible, the study one. So that okay, let's be like I'm tired of studying, I need a break. I'll go on YouTube, but I'll go on this specific YouTube so that I'll watch like a study vlog or something. So it motivates me again to get back to work. But if I were to go on my entertainment YouTube, I would see another video that I want to watch and I'd be like, just go doom scroll. Yeah, that's my advice. And also another thing, I wouldn't use my phone for entertainment during the week. During the week, if I needed a break, what I would do is I would go on Webtoon, or I will give you some Webtoon recommendations. Purple Hyacinth, ORV or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. I haven't read the web novel yet. I want to, but yeah. And number 3, The Guy Upstairs. That's also a good one. Okay, now for the subject-specific tips. I'll just tell you my methods and how I studied each subject. You do what works best for you, but I'll tell you what worked best for me. So physics, I used to study physics like every single day because my teacher would ask questions every single day. And what I would do if I was learning it for the first time, I would make handwritten notes. But if I was revising it, I would either read aloud, do the active recall, or I would type my notes. Because it was faster, and I never used question banks of physics throughout the year. But then, like 10 days before boards, we had like study holiday. So during that time, one day I just sat down and I did the Oswald question bank. It was pretty useful. To that, but another mistake I made was I bought question banks for all the subjects because everybody tells you go buy question banks, you have to do question banks. I only ended up using it for physics and for English one. And English one I did it like the day before boards, and physics also I did it like at the very end, right before board exam started. So I don't really think question banks are necessary, but if you need extra practice, you can definitely do them. And the thing I did for practice was I used to do the knowledge board sample papers. If you get the knowledge board app, you have a lot of like past year papers and sample papers. Sample papers you need to pay for. I didn't pay for it. I just went on free trial and I did physics and math sample papers. Math sample papers were helpful. Physics, I think I did only like 2. I don't know. I didn't really do a lot of that, but because I had a really great teacher, she would put like tests on competency based questions every Tuesday morning. So that really helped. And what she did during winter break was she would send us a schedule and tell us, oh, finish these much chapters today. And after we finished that portion, we had to text her being like, oh, ma'am, I finished today's portion. And she would send us questions based on that chapter. And then after solving them, if we had any doubts, we could ask her. And another thing was the textbook exercises are really important for physics. Definitely do them. And while you're doing them, if you have like a tricky question that you couldn't really get, circle them. And what I used to do is right before exams, I would do those. And the example questions also, I would circle the hard ones and do those right before an exam. That's what I did for physics. ICSE biology is honestly very fun. Only this exam is going to be 100%. It's going to be easy. It was easy for everybody. The only thing you need to do is you need to like read the text thoroughly and mostly by heart all of the stuff. I used to type notes for biology. I never really wrote handwritten notes for those. And another thing I would do is I would have like multicolor highlighters, especially for biology. I would just go and have like color codes for everything. That really like helped me personally. I love using highlighters. I use them all the time. And the diagrams, do practice them. And I would say do the textbook exercises after each chapter. And as I said, for physics, circle the ones that are a little bit tricky. Especially look at the diagrams in the textbook exercises. Do past papers, CBQ. From the board issued CBQ. That's it. Biology is pretty easy. You'll be fine. Just keep revising it and study each chapter. Next up is chemistry. Chemistry, I think, was the subject that I had the least marks in pre-boards and semester exams. My teacher, though, she was like really good at it. She used to teach so well, and she would put like test papers with tricky questions. What I would suggest doing for chemistry is just study it again and again and again. Write all the equations. I've written every single equation so many times. Like I would just, every time I would study that chapter, write. Just revise the chapter again and again and again, especially organic. I think I studied organic like 6 times before I went into a board exam. Another thing, chemistry has a lot of good YouTube teachers. If you don't understand a topic, you can just go on YouTube, search up that specific topic. 100% you'll get it after watching a video. So the only way to learn chemistry is to write and do all the textbook exercises. Just keep doing questions for chemistry, because after I started doing a lot of questions, like I think my first pre-board was before winter break, and I scored kind of badly on it. I knew I was gonna score bad because the exam didn't go that well. So what I did during winter break was I just did a lot of chemistry questions. I did all the past papers. I did the model question papers on the back of the text. If you just search up, you can find model question papers. And I did the competency-based questions from the boards. I was just doing questions and questions and questions. Any question I could find on the internet on chemistry, I was doing it because I was bad at it. Like, okay, I was. And yeah, in the second pre-board, I got good mark. And in boards also, I got good mark for chemistry because I did lots of questions. That's the only thing. If chemistry is easy for you, it's easy for you. But for me personally, I was like getting confused all the time. So I just had to revise and revise again. Okay, for math, I had a really, really, really great tuition teacher. Okay, let me tell you, bro, maths used to be my worst subject in 7th and 8th. Like, I didn't even know the basics. And then in 9th, I got tuition. And oh my god, she's such a great teacher. After that, maths was my best subject. It went from being my worst subject to my best subject because of this one teacher. She's literally the greatest. What she had us do with, she had us have 3 notebooks. One was a formula book, one was a tuition notebook, and the other one was a repetition book. The formula book, obviously, we would write all the formulas. And what I used to do was, she would say some tips or some specific things in class, and I would write that also down in the formula book. And I would write down my mistakes in the formula book. If I was doing a sum, and let's say I keep on making the same mistake, I would write it down in my formula book so that I would never make it again. After the exams, I would write down all the mistakes I made in my formula book. So I kind of used it as a mistake book also. And what I would do, the night before every math exam, I wouldn't study math. I would just read the formula book and go to sleep. I would get like 8 hours of sleep before every math exam. Very important, please get sleep. I've gotten at least 6 hours of sleep before every single exam in 10th, like all subjects. Because if I don't sleep, me personally, I know people who just stay up whole night, write exam, and they'll be fine. They'll get good grades. But me personally, if I don't sleep at least 6 hours, I'm forgetting everything. Not a single thing is staying in my brain. It's gone. I'm blank. So I used to sleep a lot. And the thing she had us write in our repetition book. We would do the questions in tuition class, and then we had to go home and write it in our repetition book twice. Not write it as a copy it. We had to do it again twice in our repetition book, and that really changed my life. That changed my life. The only time I would study math was 2 times a week when I went for tuition, and 2 times a week I would write repetition. That's the only time I studied math, and I got good grades for math. Another thing, I bought the Oswald question bank. Never used it. I just did for maths we had like 10 days before boards. What I would do is, before every single school exam, I would do the entire textbook questions. So by the time boards came around, I never did any of the textbook questions. Even though we had 10 days, I would just do a past paper every single day, or 2 past papers. I would do lots of mock papers and model papers. I solved the knowledge board sample papers. They were helpful. And I had this Oswald sample papers book that my teacher actually introduced me to, and that also helped. Yeah, that's all I did. For the rest of the subjects, history, geography, I didn't take computer, I took AI. The only key is to just keep revising repeatedly. And geography, don't bother. Like, before boards, don't study all the 16 chapters. Before the pre-boards, I would study all the 16 chapters. But before boards, I just picked the 7 chapters that I really knew well, and I would just study that, and the rest of them I would just read, because obviously you have options by reading through it. And I would pay attention in class so that I can write the MCQs. And I used to have typed notes on all the give reasons. Like, my teacher would give the give reasons, I would go home, I would type them into my Word document, and I had a document of all the give reasons, which also I revised. And if you go on Reddit, you'll find a lot of people sharing their own give reasons. I'll link one Reddit post that really helped me down below. It was this repeated questions of some specific chapters that really helped. So just pick the 6 or 7 chapters that you really know, and just study that repeatedly, and give reasons practice. Map also regularly practice. Pinne baki subjects, oh my god, I'm speaking in Malayalam. Sorry. The rest of the subjects, just revise regularly, just space repetition. History and all, it's pretty easy. What I used to do was, before the pre-boards, like the day before the pre-boards, or not the day before, the morning of the pre-boards, I would wake up at like 5 a.m. I would sleep at 11, and then what I would do is, what was I saying? I would do the KISA papers, the Karnataka ICSE Schools Association papers. You can find them online. I would do those, and I would go write. the pre-board exam. That was just a practice. It's not really mandatory. The only mandatory thing you need to do is PYQs, and PYQs I only did. We had pre-boards till 10 days before boards, and those 10 days I just did PYQs every single day of each subject. I would just do PYQs. I didn't really revise all any of the chapters during those 10 days. I was just doing PYQs, and the board exam started. Um, and the thing, please study regularly every single day. Like, be consistent. I used to study like 6 to 7 hours on weekdays daily after school. Another thing, I used to study on the auto back home from school, because if I didn't start then, I would just come home and I would lose the momentum from going to school. Yeah, I would do 50-10 Pomodoro. Obviously, I would put like a study with me video on YouTube. Everybody does that, and I would just follow that. On weekends, I would study longer. I would study like 8 to 10 hours. Not every day though. Obviously, there were days when I was slacking off. And the advice: don't waste your time watching YouTube advice videos. Ironic, I know, but like, just watch one or two. I literally let me. I think I watched some during like the summer holidays, and that's it. I never watched any video like the strategy videos or whatever throughout the entire year. It's kind of a waste of your time. Just study. Don't really need to watch all that. Yeah, the basic core thing is just to study your textbook, because the questions are pretty direct. They're gonna be from your textbook. Just keep revising your textbook, and that's it. And don't forget to enjoy your life and have fun, because it's really not that serious. Okay, I'm rambling. Bye.
Okay, so I'm gonna split